little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
Good morning. This is PJ with Channel 5 News. For the first story of today, Hurricane Harvey has finally ended, and FEMA, or the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has succeeded in evacuating residents in the affected area. However, now that it has passed, many are questioning what economic impact this will have on our country. And others like it may leave the United States. And what may be able to do as a country in order to prevent mudslides, hurricanes, fires, and other events like this in the future. Right now, we have Rodrigo on the scene to comment on the situation amongst locals.
Thanks, PJ. Today, we're here in Houston, Texas, where the scene looks grim. The locals here have lost billions of dollars in damages, contributing to the $330 billion due to natural causes in the United States. This year's losses are much greater than previous years due to heightened storm intensification caused by global warming. And as a result, the U.S. will suffer economically because each year they will either have to spend billions of dollars preparing for storms or billions of dollars repairing after storms. Here, let's take a look at a local's opinion of what they think of Hurricane Harvey. Hello. I'm Rodrigo here with Channel 5 News. What's your name?
It's all dude. Name's Jake.
So, how has Hurricane Harvey affected you personally?
So, bro, like, you're sitting in the streets, the waves come to you, so high tide in my town means I can shred the gnar without going to the beach.
And as a result, how has it affected you from an economic standpoint?
I mean, I'm homeless, dude, technically, so, like, I'm just chilling, bro.
So, what kind of damages have you seen?
Okay, so, like, there's, like, a house, right? And I'm sitting here in the neighborhood cruising around watching the waves roll in. And then it's, like, gone. The waves come in really high up, and boom. Like, excuse me? How does that happen?
And what do you think about global warming?
Bro, just freaking turn the sun off, bro. It's not that hard.
All right. Back to you, PJ.
Thanks, Rodrigo. As our field reporter was saying, damages caused by storms and other natural disasters have been costing the U.S. billions, with big cities such as Miami having to spend over $500 million just to assure that even a small chunk of their cities will remain safe. Now on the show, we have a natural disaster expert who is here to provide more detail on the ways to protect against and hopefully prevent major natural disasters like this from happening so commonly. Please welcome Professor Gubenstuff.
Thanks, PJ. Glad to be here. As climate change continues to heat up the globe, I'm afraid that the effects will become disastrous. By the end of this century, our GDP could drop by up to 6 percentage points, or $60 billion, due to damages caused by natural disasters, and the increases won't stop there. The increases in damage due to natural disasters are not on a linear growth curve, but an exponential one. So if we continue to destroy our environment at current levels into the far future, who knows how catastrophic natural disasters will come to be.
So Professor Gubenstuff, as of right now, what is the expected future for natural disasters both in the U.S. and across the world? What parts of the U.S. are expected to be hit the hardest? What will happen to them economically?
Well, PJ, I believe that places like the South and Midwest will likely see huge damages to their local economies in the near future. Changing weather patterns will cause unpredictability in crop growth, and thus salaries in the South and Midwest will be underwhelming at best and at worst unlivable. Many will move to the north because of cooler weather, taking business, agriculture, and workers away from the South and Midwest, leaving these states with an unrecoverable mess of an economy.
So before June of 2017, the U.S. was in fact taking measures of prevention towards reducing our output of harmful materials into the ecosystem through the Paris Agreement, a global treaty between countries across 4 continents that aims to reduce carbon dioxide emissions and other dangerous dumping programs across the world. The U.S. had planned to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 32% by the year 2030, preventing up to 3,600 premature deaths. However, due to changes in administration, the U.S. has stopped all federal plans to reduce climate change. What are your opinions on this?
I don't believe that it's too late for the US to rejoining the Paris Agreement, as rejoining will likely be able to put us back on track for our goals of a 32% reduction in CO2 output by 2030. Since 2015, all countries in the agreement have reduced their outputs majorly, some by even up to 7%. Also, many of the plans in the Paris Agreement, such as limitations on water-based transport, would fix many problems that the US has with emissions due to trade. However, until change like this occurs, we need states like California to continue what they're doing in reducing CO2 emission through state laws rather than federal laws, as someone must protect the environment if the federal government won't. Well, thanks for having me, PJ.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and make sure you tune in next time. But for now, this is PJ Kleins with Channel 5 News, signing off.